Welcome everyone to the RTV studios on the campus of Martinsville High School for another edition of Inside Martinsville Football here on the MHS Rewind YouTube channel, IHSA TV, and WREP 15 Sports. I'm your host, Eric Meyer, joined as always by our Artesian head coach, Brian Duggar, and a very, very happy head coach, Brian Duggar. Congratulations, huge upset win for you guys taking down 5A number 1 Whiteland Friday night, 35-21.
Yeah, it was a great game, phenomenal environment. I thought our student section and our crowd was awesome all night long. Big win. It's a great football team that we were able to beat on Friday night. Very well coached, very physical, and I thought our boys just played really good football.
Probably your best game of the season, especially offensively. You guys really churning through everything against that Whiteland defense.
Yeah, and again, like we talked about last week, that's a good defense. That's not just a poorly coached defense or not a good. I mean, they're well coached. They're sound in what they do, and they're really physical, like I said earlier. I thought we played outstanding. I don't think we punted once. We had 2 turnovers in the red zone, which we need to fix that. But outside of that, I don't know how many mistakes we made. Tyler was very efficient. I think he was 19 of 24. We only had to throw the ball 5 times in the second half. And Braden Shrake had a game.
He did. Had a 170, I think, yards rushing in the contest on Friday night, and did a great job for you guys to be able to come away with a big-time victory over the Whiteland Warriors, to get the upset, if you will, over the 5A number 1. I know you guys coming in thought you could get the victory over Whiteland, and your preparation during the week really helped you guys get the win. What do you think, as you look back, was one of the main differences or some of the differences for you guys to be able to come out victorious on Friday night?
We've done a really good job of kind of putting ourselves in position this year to be in games against really good teams. And you look back at the Decatur game, like we talked about that week, there was about 4 or 5 plays that really kind of dictated the outcome of that game. And really it was just buying in and understanding that at any point in time, one of those plays could really turn the game, could really be the difference in the game and win the game when you play a great team like Whiteland. So, I don't know that there really was a difference. I think our approach has been the same every week. We just kind of, we felt we could win the game. We felt like that was a good team, but if we played well, we could beat them. And we had to make those plays, and I felt like we did make those plays.
You made those plays. We talked about the offense and how they were able to really turn up some yards there, over 200 through the air, nearly 200 on the ground as well. But once again, that defense came up with some big stops, and they may have been there, the guys that kind of stepped up and made those plays that needed to be made that allowed that offense to get back out there on the field. Yeah,
and if you look at the stat sheet, you don't really feel like our defense played outstanding, giving up 200-some yards rushing and another 100 and some whatever throwing. But the reality is that offense is just really hard to stop. The fly sweep makes it really, really tough. Got to do your job every time. If you don't, it's a big play. And I think that's one of our big themes was no big plays, and we did give up some, unfortunately, but that's what they do. The big thing I was proud of with our defense is they just kept fighting. Even though Whiteland would have a big drive going and kind of chunking some plays here and there, I thought at some point in time we made a play on a drive that just kind of stopped it, whether it was Nick Crone's sack or a fumble that they gave us, whatever it may be, we kind of hung in there and just kept playing.
Hung in there, kept playing, and got the big-time win and opened up some eyes, I think, around the state of Indiana. Now that's 3 wins over teams in the top 10 in Class 5A with wins over Bloomington South, Whiteland, and Franklin as well. The lone loss to Decatur Central, but that earns you guys the number 7 ranking in the state of Indiana.
Don't
now
tell the kids that. I've said we're
4A,
not ranked again.
Not ranked again. We'll try to go 1-0 this week. But let's take a look at some of those highlights that got the Artesians some of that well-deserved respect with the win over Whiteland. We'll go ahead and roll those. The big-time victory over the Warriors Friday night, again courtesy of Carl Van Deventer, wearing those old-style red unis and the gold pants.
I thought one of the big keys of the game was going to be our RPOs and kind of what we were going to be able to do kind of with that 3-4 defense and 4-3, how they mix it in. And that was a big part early. And that Tyler was really effective in the first half with that. They made some switches in the second half that kind of, took that away from us a little bit. So we had to adjust, and luckily we got the run game going. Garrett with another big game. Should have had 2 touchdowns. Not really sure I agree with the call in the end zone later in the game, but it is what it is. And, there's just good football being played by Garrett Skaggs right now. And right here, that's one of those drives. we just kept making them earn chunk yards, making them earn, small gains, and eventually they made a mistake and we were able to pounce on it. So that's kind of how you win in that situation. Again, another RPO there. Josh lumbering over the middle there and tough to bring down, catches everything. So it's a big part of our offense, and teams know they got to take it away. And here's Garrett again, just making a guy miss in a one-on-one situation and getting 5 yards instead of 0. Those are the kind of things we talk about winning our one-on-one matchups, and we did a really good job of that. Thought Hunter Stroud kind of came into his own a little bit. Obviously we missed Luke and what he brings out there, but it's nice to see the sophomore have a little success and get a little taste of Friday night, and kind of got a big future for us ahead. And here's a big return. This is a huge play in the game because they had just scored. This gives us a chance to come right back and kind of only have to go 20, 30 yards to kind of get our next score. Good patient running there by Braden Shrake. I don't know how he didn't get in on that play, but I think he punches it in right here the next play. But, we'll take that. I mean, Braden was good all night, ran hard, ran behind his pads. And our offensive line did a great job of opening up some holes for him. Another little RPO action there. Just we kind of saw something in what we liked, what they were doing. We thought we could cause them some conflict, and we did. And like I said, they made some adjustments in the second half, and you'll see some of those clips as well. Again, there's another RPO. Kind of probably about every play we called in the first half was some type of RPO. And just give the ball to sophomore and let him punch it in there at the goal line. And here's one of those, like you said, there's a great job there by Brandon Kent getting held there, but more importantly, he does a good job of keeping that, keeping contained there, making that stretch out, and making the guy kind of not really have anywhere to go. Again, they did a little crack block there, and Logan Poppy did a nice crack replace, comes up. We just played really, really good assignment football on defense, and Nick, I think finished with 4 sacks. Just big time game for Nick Crone. I think he has another sack here coming up off the edge here that causes a fumble. Just beats his guy straight to the quarterback. Just, again, huge plays by Nick Crone. And that's one of those, they're inside the.
That's what we're talking about, the defense, making those plays when they had to.
They kind of bend but don't break and eventually make it. And here's 4th down. We pushing them from the 20-yard line. Now they're back at the 40 almost. And then we get them in 4th and long. And Devin Brenner makes a good play on the screen pass. So, we gave up a lot of yards on that drive, but in the end, we were able to make winning plays, and that was key. Again, good job there. Again, nice crack replace again by our corner, coming up, making the tackle. And, if everything works out and everybody does their job, those types of things happen. Nice play there by Poppy. Again, they made some plays, but for the most part, I thought our defense held up and did a really good job of bending but not breaking. Good catch here by Trevor Hott, really good catch. Trevor's a guy who comes in, kind of our spread package, does a good job on that. And then again, getting the ball to Hunter Stroud on a little screen pass and just kind of able to get in the end zone. So a lot of big plays, a lot of good stuff we saw on Friday night. Happy, obviously, with a lot of stuff, but like every week, there's things we got to get better at. Thought Daniel Ham had his best game to this point. We were down a defensive lineman. Jacob Dillender was under the weather last week, couldn't play, and Daniel Ham stepped up. I don't know that he came off the field, which is it's really tough for a defensive lineman to do that for a whole game. And here's just a gang tackle on the quarterback again. Nick, Daniel, all those guys are there. Just good football, and just a good performance.
I think getting the ball back to the offense.
Yep.
And let Braden do his thing.
Yep, exactly. And you see the score 20-14 with about 5 minutes to go. We're wanting to kind of run the clock here. We're wanting to kind of end this thing, keep the ball out of their hands, and we did that. We ran the ball. We got the ball down here and able to punch in another score and go up 3 scores with about 3 minutes to go. So we really put the pressure on them for them to have to kind of decide whether they're going to start airing it out and kind of break away from their fly sweep, if you will.
So were you comfortable yet
No,
on the sideline?
No, not comfortable until there was zeros on the board, just because Like I said, that's a really well coached football team, and you know you're going to get really good football here. But just some things we have to clean up there at the end of the game too. Some penalties late, how we kind of finished the game. I think we let the emotion get the best of us, if you will. But we did a good job of making the play again. You know, Daniel, we got 2 sacks there, and then Daniel Ham, I don't know if it's his play or not, but Daniel Ham gets a pick here to finish the game. As a defensive lineman, ball's deflected, he's running down, pursuing the ball, and there it is. So game over, and at that point in time, that's when I finally felt like, okay, we're going to take a knee, and that's it. So, but you know, that's a really good football team. That's the best team we've played. It's not even close. And I wouldn't be shocked if that team wins 5A state. That's how good they are, I think. And we played a really good football game.
So again, congratulations! Huge win for you, your coaching staff, and the kids as well, but also for the community. Really, everybody rallying once again around, getting on the Artie bus, if you will. And that's got to feel great to have all that support. And like you said, it's a huge difference there on Friday night as well. You having that crowd there to help support you guys.
There was definitely a little bit more of excitement in the air, if you will. Just the feeling of the night, the music, the band, the crowd. It was just a fun night in general. And I'm glad our boys showed up and played good football for everybody to see. And hopefully we can keep them coming back and wanting to be at our games because we're doing exciting stuff.
Absolutely, and then the one thing that it does do is though it continues to put some of those expectations on you guys and a little bit more that you guys have to try to manage week in and week out, still going 1-0. But let's talk a little bit about that. You know, you're getting a lot of attention from the state. You're going to have AC is going to come down to Anthony Calhoun with Wish TV, with their student section, a homecoming as well. How have the kids handled that distractions, some of those distractions this week, along with the emotional high that they've felt after the win over Whiteland?
Oh, for sure. And that's why the focus of this week has been blinders. You know, we talked about horse racing a little bit and how, the horses wear those blinders a little bit because they've got one job, and that's to run straight and run their race. It doesn't matter what's happening to the left, behind them, to the right. None of that stuff matters. They've trained, they've done all that stuff, and they want that horse to run its race. And it's the same for us. We've got to have blinders on. We can't be worried about all the hoopla going on with homecoming, all the rankings, and all this stuff. We have to play our game. We have to come out. We have to respect the week. We have to respect the process. And we've done that. We've had a great week of practice so far. There's been a lot of energy. There's been a lot of excitement. But there's been no letdown in our focus and no letdown in our effort. And really happy with the week of practice we've had. Like you said, it's real easy to come out and feel really good about yourself. But I think this group has been through this a little bit. You know, we had a big win against Whiteland last year, and we did feel pretty good about ourselves. And I think we went 1-2 down the stretch. So we know that the previous game, Friday night, was fun. It was great, but it doesn't mean anything. As far as what our goals and what our expectations are, it doesn't mean anything. It's great. It's a great win, but the goal is 1-0 this week.
Try to go 1-0 this week against a Pear Meridian ball club, and when you kind of look at them stat-wise, they've had several guys at quarterbacks this year. They've had a lot of guys run the football. So what are we going to see out of Pear Meridian? We'll start on the offensive side and Coach Cooper.
Well, it's really hard to tell, and that's not anything on Perry. They've been dealt a pretty serious injury bug this year. They've had a lot of different guys that have kind of been in and out throughout the year. Quarterback out, new quarterback in, then that guy's out, and then they've So I'm not sure what we're going to see. We could see their base spread offense, what they kind of started the year in. We could see their power eye offense, their little bit of wildcat offense, if you will. There's a lot of different options they have. I think they kind of found something last week against Greenwood that they really started having success with, which was kind of lining up and just running that power a lot. So that's something I think they'll try and hang their hat on. But they also, they could have their starting quarterback back. They could have their best receiver back. There's a lot of things that they could. And that's what's scary about a team like that is there's talent, there's good players on that football team, and we're not really sure what we're going to see. So it's going to kind of be figure out as we go, and it's going to come down to doing what we always do, and that's just doing our job. Read our, get in the gap sound, make sure our reads are right, be gap, do all responsibilities, defeat blocks, make tackles.
You mentioned the fact with what offense you're going to see in the preparation too as well. You get the two deep and you read the stats for the last game and you look and you're like, wait, where's the quarterback that played quarterback last week? He's not on the two deep. So I don't know, what you're going to get or what you're going to expect. I'm sure a little bit more difficult in preparation, but a lot of times that game film doesn't lie, and you guys and your coaches always do a good job of getting you guys ready to go. So you mentioned what you may see offensively out of that ball club. What are you probably going to see on the defensive side out of Perry Meridian?
Well, they're kind of a combination of a stacked defense 3-4. They kind of do a little bit of both principles. They're quick up front. They're athletic. I think that's kind of one of the more athletic defenses we've seen, right up there with Decatur. They fly to the football really well, and I think they do a good job of being physical again. It's kind of a theme we've seen the last few weeks is with some physical football teams. Might just be the mid-state. I don't know. I just could be that as well. But they're tough to go against. That's the one consistency has been their defense, and kind of they've got different guys out there, but that's kind of stayed the same. There's what they do is what they do. And I say that, and they'll show up in a whole new defense on Friday night, but just kind of how it works. But it is. It kind of the whole theme of the week kind of builds into what we're talking about as well, because we're not sure what we're going to see. So the only thing we can control is us. Yeah. So let's put blinders on and let's run our race. Let's do our jobs. Let's do what we've been coached, and we'll be okay.
Try to do what you do and try to do it to the best of your ability to come out with another victory and go 1-0 once again this week. You mentioned it a little bit a few minutes ago, some of the things you're going to have to do. But let's recap again. Things that you'll have to do, keys to the game on Friday night to come out with a big homecoming victory.
Do you just want to edit this and
we'll put it back
6
in
weeks? It's going to be what it always is on defense, being gap sound, being you're doing your responsibility, trusting your reads, and finishing plays. Not getting bored, okay, if you will, especially in the secondary, not getting bored with what's going on, doing your job every single time. Offensively, it's the same as always. Take what's given to you, win your one-on-one matchups, and take care of the football. If we do those things, we're fine.
Yeah, if you guys do those things, hopefully come away with a big homecoming victory. But like we said, a lot of hoopla, a lot of things coming on, but you guys have the blinders on. That stuff's for the fans, so get out there and early. They're going to have Channel Wish TV is going to be here. So get out here early, enjoy some of that tailgating, enjoy some of the festivities. This is what happens when your team gets ranked in the state of Indiana and pulls off some wins. You start getting some of that recognition, and well-deserved recognition for the Martinsville Artesians and your ball club as well.
No, we appreciate that. And obviously, we like to play the underdog card as much as we can, but it's an honor. It's nice. It's good for the kids. They've earned that respect, if you will. But with that respect means you got to back it up now. So it's nice. It's nice to get that ranking, but it could all go away if we finish out 0-3, 1-2 again. We got to finish strong. So the goal starts this week, and it's 1-0 to maintain that respect.
Trying to get 1-0 again this week against Perry Meridian. Got those blinders on. It's homecoming. Get out there, support the Artesians. Like we said, come out here early. The tailgate, lots of activities going on. Help support the Artesians as they try to go 1-0 again this week. Move to 6-1 on the season as they try to get the victory over the Perry Meridian Falcons. As always, like to thank the head coach Brian Duggar for coming in. For the head coach Brian Duggar and the quarterback room once again who helped produce things, Tyler Atkins and Bo Dilley. I'm Eric Meyer. We'll see you again next time inside Martinsville Football.